All right. So, uh, I'm pretty sure the stream got canceled for like policy violations or something, which I guess it makes sense because that is technically owned by Star Wars. But I was watching it on YouTube, so I mean, it's already copyrighted. It's kind of hypocritical to whatever. Hey, hey Noah, Noahlogs. Yep. I can see the chat this time. How you doing? So I guess I'm not going to be able to do those. Technically, it's a critique, so I should be able to. Um, Definitely a critique. I was like pausing and stuff. I don't know. Whatever. Um, yeah. I guess I don't have anything planned for that last segment. Um, so if you've got anything to say in the chat, I'd love to keep streaming. I don't know. I don't know if you were there for the beginning of the stream. But the actually first I'm gonna explain it. So because you might not know like about it because I've only mentioned it once in one stream. So there's this thing called the question of the stream, and basically that is whoever I'm gonna ask a question and whoever gets it right, um, gets 10 points. So no one's gotten 10 points. You have to be the first one to get it right. So you could go back to my last stream and comment on that. Yeah, but you could get 10 points for just answering what color of lightsaber blade does Master Sunube have. If you know the answer, comment it. Please don't look it up. I don't have any way to police that or enforce it, so I guess if you look it up, oh well. But please don't. Yeah, so if you want 10 points, then what color of lightsaber blade does Master Sunube have? And that goes for anyone watching the rebroadcast too. You can just say it in the comments. And again, no one's answered the one from last stream either, so you could get 20 points if you know both answers. Yeah, so I'm doing good, Noah. Glad to see you're doing good too. Actually, it's occurred to me that I haven't actually fact-checked this, so I'm gonna do a quick search. Tara Sinube is his full name. Let's do this actually. Sorry, I'm not saying anything. What's a good topic? Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. So, I was right. Sorry, not blue. Let's do if I was a bounty hunter. If you were a bounty hunter, what like I suppose that'd be hard to go into detail with only 200 characters. Let's see. Okay. Do you have any ideas for a good topic? I could do what's my favorite lightsaber duel in Star Wars? Okay. I'm gonna go back to that one. Okay, so tell me in the comments if you're watching the rebroadcast, or Noah, if you're watching, since you're watching now, tell me what's your favorite lightsaber duel in Star Wars. I'm gonna have to take some time to think of this because I didn't have time to prepare. Okay, so Duel of the Fates is a good one. Classic. Just excellent choreography. As you saw before, the video got shut down due to weird copyright laws. Or I guess, not being able to enforce proper copyright laws over all of YouTube. I think Duel of the Fates is a great duel. It's got a ton of nuance to it. Great choreography. What are some other ones? Dooku. Yeah, Ahsoka versus Maul is good. Um, yeah. What do you think of? Because Ahsoka beat Maul. What do you think of how that ended? Do you think Ahsoka was more powerful than Maul, or what do you think happened in that fight? Yeah, Ahsoka versus Maul is great. I think I'm gonna go with. Ugh, there's so many. I'm gonna have to go with Darth Sidious versus Maul and Savage. That fight is just so cool. Um, yeah, awesome. You get to see Sidious like actually moving around, like super awesome because he's animated. They can show off a lot more in animated, I think. And he's battling Savage Opress and Maul, which is just awesome. Um, yeah, other ones I like are Battle of the Heroes with Obi-Wan versus Vader, or Anakin, technically Vader. But in Revenge of the Sith, that duel is awesome. Um, Another one is Yoda versus Sidious, happening at the same time. Another like Yoda versus Sidious. That's a battle like I think everyone would want to see. Like the greatest light side of his time, Sidious greatest dark side that we know of, definitely greatest of his time. Awesome battle to see. Um, what are some other good ones? Oh, Luke versus Vader in Empire Strikes Back is awesome. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, those are some of my favorite ones. So Ahsoka versus Maul. I had a great conversation about this with Matthew C. You may have seen him in some of the comment sections on my other videos. Um, but yeah, I think Maul would have kept training during the time of Mandalore, like probably not as intensively, but at the same time, Ahsoka probably wouldn't be training as intensely as she was when she was training with Anakin or whatever. So I think that could be an explanation, but the explanation I gravitate towards is more focused on their goals in the fight. When Darth Maul, the goal of Darth Maul in that situation was not so much to kill Ahsoka or capture Ahsoka, it was to turn her to the dark side, to get her to join him, which he thought he could do, which, of course, was a bad decision because obviously she wouldn't fight against Anakin. But another thing that happened, another reason is arrogance. So she kind of beat him in their like first little battle in the throne room. Like she knocked him out the window, but he wouldn't have been defeated. It's like if Ahsoka had been knocked out the window, she would have been a lot more injured than him. Toughness is one factor that often gets overlooked, but he was kind of defeated in that part, which is probably due to a lack of focus and sure lack of training. Um, he probably wasn't super focused because he hadn't been anticipating a fight. Um, he was expecting Ahsoka to turn, and that was still like his goal. But then later, I don't know what the area is called, but on those like little those like girders basically that they were balancing on as they fought. Um, Maul had her basically trapped. She was disarmed. She was on not good footing. Like the half the girder was like cut down and it was like bending down. Um, and Maul attacks, and Ahsoka is able to grab the lightsaber and like throw him off basically and catch him with the Force. I think in that instant, Maul, just like in his battle against Obi-Wan during Duel of the Fates, which is what I was about to say before I got cut off, although I think the video got cut off a bit before then. But basically, he didn't expect Obi-Wan or Ahsoka be able to find a way to beat him. He had his lightsaber. They were defenseless. in Obi-Wan's case, even more so, and also he wasn't as powerful at the time. Um, so in both cases, he kind of just let his arrogance control him. He wasn't focused, and I think during that entire fight, a focus is similar. But yeah, he could have. It could be a thing of with training. Yeah, I can't imagine Maul doing any intensive training during that time. Like maybe with Savage around, he had a like someone to practice with, but at that time, like he could maybe throw a Mandalorian the dark saber and just have them battle him, but it'd be hard. But that's true for Ahsoka too. Um, she wasn't with the Jedi anymore. She didn't have anyone to train with her. I mean, she could do blast deflection, but she couldn't really do lightsaber duels. Um, so yeah, that's my thoughts on that fight. And most of my thoughts on Duel of the Fates. Um, yeah, I think yeah, because he was so focused on getting back at Sidious. I don't think in that fight he was so focused on Obi-Wan, because I don't think he expected Ahsoka to turn on Obi-Wan. I think he just expected her to help him take out Sidious. But yeah, I think his hatred blinded him to the, and I think also his ambition, because the reason he knew who Ahsoka was is because he, like, probed Jesse's mind. I think it was Jesse. What do you call it? I've lost my train of thought again. Streaming is hard. Anyways, he probed Jesse's mind, so he should have known that Ahsoka wouldn't have gone against Anakin, and probably not against Obi-Wan. Against Sidious, that's probably what he was trying to get her to do, to fight against Sidious. But as soon as he mentioned Anakin, Ahsoka's like, your vision is flawed. There's no way Anakin turned to the dark side. What do you think of um, Maul's lightsaber in that fight? Do you think it just makes sense that he reconstructed his old one, or do you think it doesn't make sense? Does that bother you at all, or? Yeah, yeah. If Ahsoka went with Maul, um, yeah, I don't know if Maul had a plan for after that. Because I mean, his that wasn't his original plan. If you go back and watch my stream from last week, I actually cover what I think his original plan was. But basically, Ahsoka shows up. Um, yeah, like Ahsoka shows up and um, he like doesn't know what to do. He was expecting Anakin and Obi-Wan, so he has to reformulate an entire plan for getting back at Sidious, basically, because there's no chance of getting at Obi-Wan in this situation. So I don't know if he had a plan beyond get Ahsoka to join him as an ally, which of course would be very helpful because Ahsoka is a powerful Force user. Having her as an ally would be very beneficial in taking out Sidious. And Ahsoka, he might have tried to convince the council that Sidious, well, does he even know that Palpatine is Sidious? I mean, he would probably try and convince them that Sidious is at least in control of the Senate, which combined with what Dooku said to Obi-Wan in Attack of the Clones would probably convince them, and their suspicions of the Chancellor would probably lead them to, um, uh, like, think of Chancellor Palpatine as the Sith Lord, investigate that more thoroughly. But yeah, that might have been his plan. That's probably what it would have been if he had more time to think about it. But then again, he might not trust the Jedi. Yeah, it's really interesting to like consider what was going through a character's head when they thought of something, like what their grand plan was, especially with people like Sidious and Maul. Because well, more so Sidious, but Maul is like learned from Sidious. Um, so yeah. By the way, thanks so much for being in the chat. As fun as last stream was, um, it's a lot better having like an actual conversation with the viewers in real time. So yeah, Maul's plan. Yeah, I agree with what you said about Maul's lightsaber. By the way, there's a delay between when you comment and when I see it, so it's hard to have a flowing conversation without having like 30 seconds in between each statement. But um, oh, by the way, what does NP mean? I'm sure it's an abbreviation of something, but I just don't know what it is. Um, so yeah, Maul. Is Maul one of your favorite characters? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I didn't see anything in the chat last time. Yeah, I didn't have my phone out last time because what I'm doing is I'm reading the chat from my phone. Which of course didn't work for some reason at the beginning of the stream, but oh well. Um, yeah. I don't know what happened with the chat last time. Um, oh, at first I thought you were saying like no problem as in no problem like that I didn't have figured out without telling me what it was, but no problem is the answer. um, yeah. So the chat might have been broken last time, or I might have just not seen it. I don't know. Yeah, Maul's a great character. Um, yeah, you were there for my talking about Maul. Just a great um example of what a Sith is. Um, what else do I have? Hmm. What do you think of Mandalorian episode 6? Maul is like my third or so favorite character. It changes quite frequently, but yeah, he's one of my favorites. Do you think all the people that Mandalorian like put in the prison ship, we like locked them up? Do you think they're going to like escape and hunt him down in like season 2 or 3 or something of the Mandalorian, or do you think they're just gonna be um just basically forgotten, like not forgotten about, but not used again by in Mandalorian? Because I don't know, I would love to see them again. Um, I think they're just a very interesting set of characters, and just having more people to hunt down Mando. Um, but this time people that are have a connection to him, motivated kind of like Maul by revenge rather than just by money. That would be interesting. Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. Like a lot of people don't like it because it's kind of filler. It doesn't really connect to the main plot as much as like 7 and 8 do, which I'm super excited for in the next 2 weeks. And of course, I'm excited for season 2 after that. Um, but yeah, but it's just such a cool episode. Like the fight scenes, they're just awesome. The way Mando like sneaks up on people, um, that crushing Berg with the door, oh, so cool. Um, yeah, just an awesome episode all around. Yeah, I agree. I don't think they'll be back in season 2. Like they've got a lot of things to cover in season 2. And it would also make a lot of sense if just for context, I'm talking about the people Mando imprisoned in this episode. also it would probably take a long time for them to either escape or just randomly get discovered, because their ship is just going off with like no pilot, and they show at the end like its rockets are still on. It's not like floating in space, so it's going to continue on at that trajectory for a long time. It's possible they don't get discovered for a while. Um, so I could see it being in season 3, or maybe even like 4 or 5. Probably not 5. 5 is probably going to be super big. Um, I think there's going to be 5 seasons. I think someone said that sometime. Sorry, I can't cite my sources because I don't have sources. But yeah, like I could see them being in season 3 or 4 or something. Yeah, it'd be super interesting to see them hunting down Mando because they've got an interesting set of skills. What do you think of? So, when Mayfeld asks Shien um, if she's ever seen Mando with his mask off, she says, "A lady never tells." So, do you think that she has seen him with his mask off, or do you think she hasn't? I think it's possible that she has, but I don't think she has. At the very least, I really don't want her to, because that's like one of the things that I think is so cool about Mando is that he's got honor. And if she took his mask off, then um, it would ruin that. Um, and also, there's he was a lot younger then probably, so it's definitely possible. But I just don't want him to. It could be interesting though if like people thought like if she has and they find out. Um, yeah, I can see it happening, but at the same time, Mando. Well, I suppose that kind of makes sense. I was gonna say Mando seems kind of like cold, like he like specifically to her, like um, she's always been like this, and he's just not into it. He's gonna just ignore it basically. Um, but I mean, if she saw him without his mask and he kind of like felt dishonored or whatever, uh, like he um, basically gets older, more mature, and realizes that he probably shouldn't have like revealed his face. He would probably seem cold just to stop, not encourage her for to um, like talk about that or like confront those um, I don't know situations. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna end this stream pretty soon. Uh, Unless you've got some other topic that you really want to talk about. I like. I'd be happy to talk more. I'm just running out of ideas of things to say. Um, so if you've got any cool topics, I'll wait a little bit. Um, but I'm gonna end this stream pretty soon. So yeah, so this is gonna be the end of the stream. Thanks so much, Noahlogs, for showing up, commenting. Um, Glad to see that I figured out how to read the chat for once. Um, what's your question? Anytime? What? I'm kind of confused. What's the question? Oh, yes, I will. Yeah, I'll definitely be watching the Bad Batch show. Um, I don't know. I'm not super excited for it, but I mean, it's a TV show, um, or a Star Wars TV show. I'm I'm definitely gonna be watching that. Um, when does that come out? Is that soon? I don't know. I'll watch it when it comes out. Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I think Disney Plus is a great investment. So, and I mean, if I've got Disney Plus, I'm gonna be watching it. Um, because yeah, I think it'll be interesting. What time period do you think that's gonna be in the Bad Batch show? Because it could be like their missions during the Clone Wars, um, which would be interesting. Um, okay, good to know. Around April. So yeah, so pretty early in the year, kind of closer to summer. Or is that technically summer? I think it's still spring. I'm bad at months. Anyways, so yeah, so it could be like before it could show a bunch of their missions, which would be super interesting. Um, I feel like that would be it'd be a great show, but I feel like it's not as cool as some like the other show ideas that we've had. Um, the other idea or the other time period could be after um after the Clone Wars, which could be maybe they team up with Darth Vader or something and go on secret missions or something, or they're just serving the Empire. And we could get to see them execute Order 66 or not execute Order 66 and not join the rebellion, but like make their own rebel cell and then maybe join the rebellion later on. Kind of like um, just like Phoenix Cell was their own cell, and then they eventually joined with the rest of the rebellion. Um, so yeah, I think I would most want to see it start with Order 66, um, and they decide because they're unique, they might be able to fight their inhibitor chips and not and like they save a Jedi and maybe go on missions with that Jedi to against the Empire. That could be interesting. It would, as I've said, it would also be cool to see them go on missions during the Clone Wars. Um, just because they're pretty cool to watch. Um, and then also serving the Empire could be interesting. I don't know if there's a um, good story there though, because until a few years later, when the rebellion starts to get bigger, there's not much of a threat to the Empire. I mean, maybe they could hunt Jedi, but that's kind of the Inquisitor's job. So, yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on the Bad Batch. I mean, they're cool, but there's not as much stories as some other things that I think would be cool. Okay. I think I'm gonna end the stream. Um, so I mean, again, if you wanna do another question, I'd be glad to go a little bit longer. Um, but I mean, I've been running out of things to say. So yeah. May the force be with you. Um, I'm kind of stalling a little bit, so you've got a chance because there's the delay with the chats. So kind of stalling a bit, but basically it was a great episode. We talked about Mandalorian episode 6. We talked about a bunch of my favorite Star Wars characters and why I like them. Yeah. Yeah. And then we analyzed a big portion of Duel of the Fates, and then uh, copyright strike or whatever, and talked about what was it, like Bad Batch, Maul's plan, all that stuff. I think it was a great stream. Thanks for showing up, Noahlogs. May the Force be with you.